Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are doing the final video for this month's Vinegar Syndrome subscription package for October. Um, Overall, just to give sort of final thoughts, I've really enjoyed this month. One of these films I obviously loved and I knew I would love, and I spent a lot of time going through the special features, did an hour and a half video on it, but everything else I think ended up being pretty good on average. One of them I really enjoyed, one of them I was so on, but we'll get into that shortly. Again, I've been saying this at the end of every review, but I got a shipping notification saying that the November package was going to show up on Monday, so that's why I've been doing a lot of uploads focused on the October package so I could finish that and be ready to go on Monday, so to do the unboxing at least. So I guess I'll do my kind of ranking for this month. I'll go from sort of my least favorite release to my favorite one. And I don't think this month will be really any surprise to anybody, but I think it should still be done. So the first movie that I want to kind of show, or the first release, the one that I was kind of deeming it my least favorite, it's not because the movie's bad or the special features were bad. It was just okay. And the movie itself I thought was pretty good, and it was pretty great in the beginning, but it really tapered off. And the ending was great, but kind of that middle segment I just did not care about. And I'm talking about, of course, for my number 4 movie or release, Blood Delirium. This is one that I didn't really have any thoughts on kind of 24 hours after, because I guess I reviewed it yesterday. Yes, so I reviewed it yesterday, and I don't really remember all that much from the movie anymore. I just don't really. I thought it was just okay. It has really great music, great cinematography, great visuals, everything like that. But since my review, I've kind of not soured on it, but just been like, yeah, it was pretty good. So that is my number 4 for this month. The next one is one where the movie wasn't just that great to me. I thought it was good, but it wasn't really spectacular. But the documentary on this release was absolutely awesome. And I'm talking about, of course, Paul Naschy's The Werewolf and Vampire Woman. Werewolf versus Vampire Woman. Documentary was absolutely insane. I loved it. It gave me all of the context that I needed to finally kind of start my journey into Paul Naschy. And that is all I ask for documentaries. And it always kind of bothers me when we get documentaries that are at most 30 minutes from Vinegar Syndrome. Because when Vinegar Syndrome does really well on documentaries, it's always an hour to an hour and a half. I always like to show the gold standard of documentaries with Beastmaster. This is almost 2 hours of documentaries on this release. And also the documentary they did for Six String Samurai. This one was awesome. I really enjoyed this one. There was a whole lot of intrigue, actually, as part of that documentary. But this documentary went from the birth of Paul Naschy, aka, oh my gosh, Jacinto Molina, his real name, and went all the way to his death. And it was an archival documentary, so it's not one that was made by Vinegar Syndrome, but I'm very happy that they didn't try to make their own and instead just licensed this documentary for this release. It ended up being pretty awesome, but the movie itself I thought was just okay. I'm not a huge kind of fan of the Paul Naschy films because I just haven't seen any. I've seen Count Dracula's Great Love, which I've mentioned in the review, and I may have seen one other one, and that's if I even realized it was Paul Naschy in the movie. But that is my number 3. My number 2 is one that I just reviewed, and it's one that I really enjoyed. I loved it from beginning to end. And the only issue I had was that I thought the special features could have been a little more substantial. They had a few interviews on the release that I just had no interest in, such as interviewing Caroline Munro, who is a very fantastic actress, but she was not really in this movie, and I didn't really talk about it in the review, but there's a scene in the movie where she's dancing and singing and basically doing a music video, and that's really it for her. And so I wasn't really interested to hear what she thought about the behind the scenes because she was only there for a day. I don't know what she could have really communicated outside the music video, but maybe it's unfair. But I'm here to have fun, and I don't want to force myself to watch things I have no interest in. But this is, of course, the film from 1984. Don't open till Christmas. I'm trying to show as much as I can without showing any nudity. This is a really great Christmas season movie. I really enjoyed it. Really great cinematography throughout. Great sound. Great score. Great acting. A really great ending. I didn't talk anything about the ending, but it ends very, very well. A lot better than Hack-A-Lantern, which I said was basically a really great double feature with Don't Open Till Christmas. So that was one that I really enjoyed. I highly recommend the documentary for that release if there was any special features that you wanted to watch. But everything else on the release just wasn't that interesting outside of the interview with Alan Birkinshaw, which I talked about in the review. But that is my number 3. Don't Open Till Christmas. And of course, my number 1 release for this month is one that nobody will be surprised about. I did an hour-and-a-half review on it. It's a Tobe Hooper film that I had never seen before this release, and I absolutely loved it. Loved exploring the behind the scenes of it. I watched the movie 4 times, I believe. 2 or 3 of the commentary tracks. And I also watched the new documentary all about the making of, and it was, oh my gosh, so many great interviews on this, and I've only seen about a quarter of them. There's still a whole lot of interviews to watch, but I think I had enough to talk about because I ended up talking about it for an hour and a half. And if you don't know what I'm talking about yet and have no clue, it is Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Fucking love this movie. I don't know if I would rate it above the original or not. I went back and forth on it during my review, and I think I settled on it depends on my mood for the day. If I just want to feel like I need to take a shower because of just how creepy the original one is, I will watch that one. And if I want to watch a fun movie, but also one that also has really great gore effects that were done by Tom Savini, the guy who did Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, The Howling, Friday the 13th Part 4, I believe I want to say. He also did, some other movie. He's done many great movies. And I think this is probably his number 2 film, best makeup effects, behind Day of the Dead. It is very disgusting what he was able to accomplish. And they go into all of that on how they were able to do those effects. Gabe Bartalos is involved in this film, and he is an understudy of Tom Savini, who went on to make the film Saint Bernard, one of my least favorite movies of all time. But I didn't realize Gabe Bartalos was an understudy of Tom Savini and worked with him very closely since Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And so I definitely want to kind of watch that and not go in with such a highbrow outlook or mood, I guess, because I was just like, oh my god, this movie is so bad. I did not like it. I thought it was so... I don't know. You can watch my review on it. I went off on that movie. But that is my listing for the best releases for this month. I'm happy I was able to keep it under 10 minutes. I think this is a really great kind of summation of all of my reviews. And if you want to know more, my reviews are open still. I mean, they'll be uploaded on my channel forever. So if you are interested and want to know more about these releases, please go watch those. I did make a very active effort this month to go through the special features, at least one per. And so that's sort of my goal from here on out. I've decided I will be doing the 2023 package, I think it'll be even more expensive, probably around $1,000. It's a steep price. There better be some fucking great releases next year. But they've already talked about how they're doing a Cat 3 box set. Thank you. We need more Cat 3 on Blu-ray. So, thank you all so much for watching, and please have a great rest of the weekend.